So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Gatoho TV, made in Mukurweini show. And today's conversation and discussion is a very, very important one. As I had told you, you had seen it on socials in our poster. We are discussing mental health, depression, and premature deaths, especially in the young people. And with us, we have a guest that we have invited, somebody who befits this interview, someone I know personally, someone who inspires me a lot. The topic being around my youths, my Gen Z, because we are going to basically revolve around the young people. Tuone vile tunaweza ongea na wao, tuanze conversation, and then tuone vile tunaweza wasaidia. The reason I settled for this guest is because I know she blends very well na vijana. We'll be getting to learn more about her. I will let her to introduce herself, tell us more about herself, give us her profile, tell us where she works and what she does, and why she is the most fitting person for this interview, being the first one around this very sensitive topic of mental health in the young people. So, karibuni sana, and let's get the show running. So, madam,
yes,
welcome to Gatoho TV.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for this interview. Maybe you can start with your introduction. You can talk to the viewers there. Uambie wewe ni nani. Karibu sana.
Wow. Thank you so much, my viewers, and Mr. Gatoho, for bringing me on to share issues which are very close to my heart, well-being of our young generation. This is a very, very important show and a very, very important moment to talk about our future generation, the youth, who are our backbone in the society. Thank you so much. My name is Reverend Dr. Lilian Young, and I am so excited to be here. Let me start by saying I was born and raised up in Nairobi, Mathare slums. And I want to encourage a young person out there that your past does not define who you are. Because if I define myself with my past, then I don't know where I would be. Because as I have said, I was born and raised up in Mathare slums by a single mother. And our daily needs were met by bring changa. And there were so many challenges. Being raised up by a single mother, being raised up in slums, there were so many challenges. But besides all that, we are here today. Let me say, my education was affected. This is one reason I am here, to encourage someone. I was not able to go through high school education because my mom was only able to take me through the primary level. Now, secondary school, I educated myself to where I am today because I refused to be defined by my past. So, through it all, maybe I may not introduce myself wholly, but I want to just give a part of my me and who I am. Through all that, let me say I have been able to go through secondary school. I've been able to go to pursue theology and also counseling psychology, which has been a great pillar to our nation, our community, because it has helped me to reach out to our children. My interest is when I talk to the teenagers, because teenage is where a tree is being shaped up. If we don't shape our teenagers in their teenage, then we will lose it. So I'm a counseling psychologist. I am also a theologian. I am a pastor. I pastor with Christian Foundation Fellowship here in Mukurweini. I'm also a lecturer with BMI University based in America, but we have satellites here in Kenya all over. And besides that, I love reaching out to the young generation, and this is the reason we are here today, Mr. Gatoho.
Wow, thank you so much, our viewers. You've listened to the guest, and that's quite a elaborate introduction, and I love the fact that you said you've come from Mathare.
Yeah.
Uko kwa mtaa. Kwa hivyo interview itakuwa tunabonga mpaka Sheng. Sure. Najua Pasi pia anajua kubonga Sheng, because we want to speak to the young people out there. Pasi nilikuwa naangalia statistics. Allow me to call you Pasi for the sake of this interview.
Yeah.
Ndio vijana wa feel easy and home with the discussion. Ndiko naangalia statistics the suicide cases in Kenya. And apparently it says that an estimated number of 703,000 people take their life every year.
Yeah.
How can you define mental health? How does one know that your health mentally is okay?
Okay. Number one, I like being guided by the word of God. And if you read the book of Judges, the last chapter and the last verse, it says, in those days in Israel, there was no leader. So people did as they saw fit. When there is no leadership, people do as they see fit. So I want to start by saying, leadership is lacking from the family. When God created the universe, the first thing he created was the family, not the schools, not the churches, but we see God creating man, creating a woman, and telling them go forth and increase, multiply. So God loves family. So in that family, man was put there as a leader. So if the leadership in the family fails, then we don't have a good nation or a community. Therefore, let me say, when we talk about mental wellness, we are talking about issues caused by family, marriage failure, schools, job, and so many things. So what is this mental illness? It is a ability, you don't have ability to think properly, to make decisions. You are not able to, to focus. So when you see someone rushing to do things, like now murdering, killing someone, that is you rushed into making decisions. That means you are mentally not functioning. Because if you are functioning, then you can have a second thought. God gave us 5 important things. And one of them is emotions and consciousness. Conscience ndio huwa inafanya unafikiria. Ama ukifanya kitu, there's an indicator that indicates. Inakuonyesha ile kitu unafanya manze si poa. So ukiona mtu ana rush, anafanya kitu, ni kumaanisha mentally is not functioning. Hafikiri. And all this, huwa tunaambia watu ama wazazi, watoto wetu huwa wanaanza masomo nyumbani. They start at home. Sio shule. Shule, they are taught about geography, mathematics, CRE, but at home is where our children are taught how to say thank you, I am sorry, welcome. Not at school, it is at home. So it should start at home. If you don't train your children how to, we call it moral values. Moral values zinaanza nyumbani. Kwa hivyo kama mzazi, it is your responsibility to train your children how to handle their mental. Unaelewa? Kama kuna mashida, ni wewe utamuelezea. Ikifika hapa, this is what you're supposed to do. But now, unfortunately, nowadays, si kama kitambo, mtoto alikuwa wa kila mtu. Nikifanya kitu, unanipinch kama neighbor, nikikimbia kwa mzazi kusema, naye ananipinch. Ananiuliza kwani umefanya nini? By the time nijibu, yule mzazi amekuja na akasema nimepata huyu mtoto akifanya hivi na hivi. So discipline was very high. But today ukigusa mtoto wa wenyewe mnapelekana polisi. So moral values zimekuwa, mzazi peke yako huwezi mtoto peke yako. Kwa hivyo unapata sasa mentally watoto wetu wako chini sana. So mental is it's a problem mental illness, it's a problem whereby we are not able to function, we are not able to think, we are not able to make decisions, we are not able to like when challenges come, I'm not able to persevere. That is one problem. So when we go into mental illness, it brings forth something we call stress.
Before you go there, before you go to stress, let's still talk about mental health. When you are not okay, you say that mental health is mental illness. It is when you're not able to function properly mentally. So when you're rushing into a decision or doing something, you don't know. You are not fully conscious.
You are not conscious
of what you're doing. Now, if as Gatoho, what are the indicators? If, like, let's say I'm mentally ill, what are some of the indicators that probably people will see? Me personally, I will know. I will see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that I am able now to, someone else able to see that this person is not okay. We need help. What are the indicators of mental illness?
Thank you. A very good question. That is where now I was going to. Stress.
Yes.
So what are the signs of stress? These are pressures. You are being pressurized by issues, maybe from school, maybe from family. When I came here, Gatoho, this is my 8th year in Mukurweini. I concentrated so much into secondary schools, and a higher percentage of our children are being raised up by their grandparents. A grandparent cannot raise a digital child. It is very hard. So unapata hawa watoto wako na challenges, wako na pressure. Mzazi mwenye, the way I can raise my child is not the way another person will raise that child. So huyu mtoto atakuwa na pressure. Ataenda shuleni, anapata wengine kuna mambo anafanyiwa, ama when they are discussing. Let me give you a short story of myself. When I was growing up, nilikuwa naenda shule, nasikia watoto, ama ninaona kitabu, naona mtoto ameandika jina and there is a male name at the end. And I was like, kwa nini mimi sina jina ya male? These are ladies and that name is a male name. So that thing really bothered me. And I went into stress and almost into depression. Nikijiuliza, when I go back to my mom, nikitaka kumuuliza, there is a day I even asked her, and she slapped me. Kwa nini ninamuuliza? And sasa wakati nilikuwa nafikiria, ninaona wanze na stress kwa sababu ni mtu alikosana, sijui walikosanaje, na mimi ninaleta ile story. So hiyo kitu, I decided now to go look for my dad on my own, and I did it, and finally I got my dad.
So mama akwambia aligoka na kilori?
Alikuwa tu alikuwa tu kwanza ile jicho alikuwa ananirusha. Unamtaka nini? hauna chakula. But you see, sometimes it's not the food that we need. It's the love of our parents. We need the love of these two parents. The father and the mother's love is really needed. Agemaika koguo, wengine wanasema thina kunia guthirwo ni kirori. But for me, my mom did not tell me that. The only thing I remember is that she slapped me. And that slap, even today, I remember. I never dared ask her again. Sikumuuliza about baba yangu, but nikajua, nikiwa mdogo nilikuwa nasikia wakiongea. My dad, mom was selling changa. At the same time, they had a house bar. A house bar is whereby they sell beer. There are those class of people who, instead of going to clubs, they love going to homes, whereby they take their beer comfortably in a home. So my mom used to mix changa and the beer. So beer ilikuwa ni ya wale watu wa klasi ya juu. So my dad alikuwa anafanya kazi huko Moi Air Base. So tulikuwa tunaishi opposite Moi Air Base. So my dad would come and kikuja anasema niamshwe, and he would hold me and ask me, "Boy, do you know me?" Namwambia and then he would tell me, "I'm your dad. My name is Dominic Mbuthia." So that thing stuck in my mind. Haikuwahi toka. And that is why I always insist on pelekeni watoto kanisani,
Yes.
kwa sababu kile watafunzwa hata when they grow old they will never forget.
Yes.
So even today I have never forgotten that dad would come and hold me and tell me, I'm your dad and my dad is and my name is Budhia. So when I grew in class 8, that is when I started remembering my dad is Dominic Budhia. And so I looked so much like my dad, especially when I shaved my hair. So nikinyoa nywele nilikuwa naingia nasikia madhe wakisema, hey, nilikuwa nimeona ni kama zile za wale watu wa Air Force wameingia. So that would clearly tell me my dad is Budhia na ako hapa Air Force. So nitaenda kumtafuta.
Nimeona jeshi.
So nikaenda kumtafuta. What do I mean, Mr. Gatoho? Nataka kusema watoto tunaweza fikiria maybe they are not being affected by surrounding issues, but kuna mambo inawa affect. Wakienda shuleni waone watoto wengine vile wana behave, vile wametreatiwa, hiyo kitu inaanza kuwasumbua. So ukipata mtoto ako na hiyo issue, ataenda kuambia shosho ana struggle na vile huyu mtoto atapata chakula. Mama yake na yeye alienda huko kutafuta, labda akujange kuangalia huyu mtoto. So hiyo pressure inafanya mtoto akuwe na stress. Maybe ni marriage. Hii marriage uliingia and you are not prepared.
Before to get kwa marriage, kwa watu wakubwa sasa, pale kwa watoto umesema mental health inaweza affect mtoto from the family. You started with saying that family is very basic to mental uprightness of a child. It's the upbringing, both parents being there, showing them love, not just being there physically, but showing them love and all that. So you, as an example, there's something that affected you when you were a young child, and you took it through, your maybe childhood, maybe teenage years, probably then to adulthood. So it is possible that one can face depression because of stress that ilianza pale mwanzo. Pale mwanzo. A very important point.
Actually depression is a journey. Ndio maana nilikuwa nimeanza pale kwa mental illness, tukakuja kwa sababu nika safari, tukafika kwa stress. So stress ndio hiyo huwa inakosiwa na, tukasema kama mtoto shule. Mwalimu anaweza stress mtoto, maybe homework, maybe huyu mtoto background mahali analelewa. Kuna cases za incest. Nimekuambia wakati nilikuja hapa nilideal sana na secondary schools. Wakati nilienda secondary schools, after kuongea na watoto and taking them through guidance, most of them would want to speak to me privately. Na wengi ni wale walikuwa wananiambia mama yetu aliolewa na mimi. Na sasa ndio nilipiwe shule, my dad kuna hii condition, I must do this. So here in Mukurweini, rape cases are so rampant. Very, very rampant. So unapata huyo mtoto, hiyo ni kitu imetoka nyumbani, amepeleka shuleni, ako na stress. Hiyo kitu itamsumbua. So depression is a journey. It's an end point of a journey if the early signs are not detected and if they are not taken care of. So stress ni signs ambazo huwa zinaanza kuonekana. For example, kwa mtu mzima nikikuja nikwambie Gatoho, hey, you are very smart, uanze kunipe story. Guy, wapi sasa? Guy, unajua hata haka nikamtush.
Naweza kusema unanichocha.
Sasa automatically unajua hiyo ni stress. Hiyo ni sign ya stress.
So really?
Yes, that's a sign of a stress. Reach out. Ukiona mtu alikuwa anapatikana sana lakini ame-withdraw, hiyo ni sign ya stress. Reach out. Ukiona mtoto amenyamaza.
That's a very funny point, so mtu nikwambia uko smart, alafu
nianze story,
kwanza kulenga hiyo story, utaki yani, so it's a sign. I should reach out and understand why.
Reach out. And because ukiniambia Gatoho niko smart, sinafaa tu kusema wow, thank you.
Compliment.
Not stories.
Na kuna wengine ukimwambia kwa smart ako kama ni boy na ni dem anamwambia uko msupu, ana jam, like ana jam hata anaweza kutusi.
Hiyo is a clear indication that's a sign of stress. Hizo sasa ndio initial signs za stress. So if you see, ukiona mtu ame-withdraw, inaanzanga na pressure. Hiyo pressure sasa kasign ni hako kakuona, ukiambia mtu kitu, unaona mtu ana hasira, haujui hasira zinatoka wapi. Unaona mtu ameanza kuwa akiongea, kuna ile kitu tunaita low self esteem. Ukimuongelesha kama mimi ni mchungaji, most of the times I will call my church members. Ukimuuliza ni nini shida, anakuambia mimi unajua hapa mimi naona siku hizi naona sipendwi. Hiyo sasa ni sign ya stress. Kuna kitu inamsumbua. So you reach out. Huwa unapata hata nimeacha mambo yangu yote, niende kwa huyo mshirika mmoja. I just go listen. And now the other problem, wakati mtu ako na shida, when I notice signs, nikuje kukuona, sifai kuja kukupea story. I need to come sit down there and listen to you. Ongea kabisa, ongea nikusikize. Hizo sasa ni signs tunajaribu kudeal nazo, kuzuilia usifike depression.
So huyo ni mtu already ako in that, and the approach of kwenda kumsikiza, ku reach out before to figure out.
Even a child,
Now, umesema one of the signs the depression au mtu akona ill mental health ni stress, right? Na stress ina exhibit na vitu mingi. Umependa examples kadhaa. Kuna anaweza mtu ako smart, a jam, ama upigie mtu ni aje, mbona siku hizi sikuoni, anza kusema apendwi, unaona? What apart from hizo, kuna ingine mtu anaweza maybe angalia mtu physically, aone huyu mtu hayuko sawa, ama yeye maybe binafsi kuna vitu anaweza anza kufanya ama kuanza kufeel some weird way, ajue I need to seek help. Besides hiyo kusema mtu apendwi ama withdraw, unaona? Ama kukuwa na anger issues.
Now that one you have mentioned, anger. Kuna hasira. Unapata mtu anakasirika for no good reason. Complaining. Complain every time you are complaining. If I do something, you are just complaining. If something happens, you are just complaining. Mtu akipita, you are just complaining. You never appreciate anything. Nikikupea chakula, you are complaining. Kitu ikifanyika kwa TV, you are complaining. Sometimes huwa hawapendi hata makelele. Hizo ni indications ambazo zinakuelezea huyo mtu ako na stress. Withdrawal is also another. Unaona mtu hataki kutokea kwa watu. Alikuwa mtu wa watu, unaenda happy, sasa haendi. So hata watoto, hiyo ni sign moja. Na most of the times huwa inapata watoto wakifika puberty, teenage, between 13 to 18, 19. That is where unaonanga hata ukiongelesha mtoto akona shrugs, ukimtuma mutidamu yetoma, hiyo ni stress. That's a sign of stress. So that is why we always advise parents, when it comes to teenage, you don't order, you don't authorize children, you guide them with love. Take time with your children, listen to them, because sometimes I ask parents, ni wapi huwa tunafika tunapoteana na watoto? Kama kale katoto kako kana kupenda sana, si muna grow nako, kuna inafika wapi inakuwa sasa hampatani? Inafika anafanya vile anataka, na we kama mzazi you don't care. It is because the way we raised up our children, akifika a certain age, tuna feel huyu mtoto amemachua sasa. Lakini kuna kitu huwa tunasema, ukiona mtoto grow, hata amekuwa na cube yake, hakuna mtoto anakuanga mtu mzima kwa mzazi. Always make a quick search. Hiyo room yake ingia, unaangalia, kwa sababu pia kuna mambo weird zitakuwa zinafanyika without you knowing because of company. Hizo company pia zinaleta stress, kwa sababu maybe anajaribu kuintroduciwa kwa kitu ambayo hakuwa nayo. So hiyo kitu anaintroduciwa, ana fight between now the peer pressure and the parents. So utaona mambo weird signs ambazo zitakuonyesha. Ukiingia kwa nyumba, utaona maybe kuna picha ameanza kuhang. Yeye mwenyewe dress code yake inakuelezea. So such signs zinakuelezea huyu mtu hako sawa sawa. Unaona maybe mtu alikuwa talkative, mara moja ana shut down. Hiyo pia ni sign ya stress. It's also a sign of stress. Unaweza ona mtu amenyamaza, ameanza kulia. kwa nini analia, ni stress. So reach out. So those are among many signs. Ni signs za kukwambia huyu mtu ako na shida. If you don't address these issues, now it will escalate to depression.
And we are coming clear. There's something you've talked about, ku reach out, eh?
Yes.
Huyu mtu hii mwenye alianza maybe na to stress kidogo kwa mtoto maybe from a young age, na wako adolescents, wanafika mahali nasikia wazazi wakisema ati mtoto wangu amebadilika.
Yes.
I'm not able to break through, ama ku reach out.
Yes.
Ameweza ku withdraw, anajifungia kwa room, you know?
Yes.
Then most kids, most teenagers don't like their parents going into their rooms. Wanatamanga they want to enjoy their privacy.
Yes.
So when you start now having that gap, in escalate, before you know it, imekuwa something else. And we'll take a short break, and then when we're coming back, we'll talk about depression. We'll discuss what is depression, again some signs of depression, and how to reach out to a person who has a depression case. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy that you're viewing us and you're joining us, and I hope that you're enjoying the conversation. This is Gatoho TV, made in Mukurweini. We'll see you after the break. So welcome back, karibuni sana. This is Gatoho TV, made in Mukurweini, and today's topic is very sensitive but very important, especially to the young people. We are talking about mental health, depression and premature death. Na tujajiuliza aje, kuna hope kwa vijana? Is there hope for the young people? And definitely after this conversation you will be able to see that there is hope, and maybe we can reach out to 1 or 2 or even 3 or even 100 with this conversation before we can maybe break through and probably reach out and be able to help them overcome whatever issues that they are going through. What is depression?
Wow. Let me start by saying there is hope. My listener, my viewer, there is hope. Now, right now, what we are doing, we are trying to, pinpoint a few challenges and signs. But at the end of it, we are going to see how we are able to come out of it. So, what is depression? That is the question. Depression now, as I said, it's a journey. It's the end point of a journey if the initial signs are not detected, if they are ignored. This is now when we come to depression. Depression now is when now you have now tried all means. You have withdrawn. You have become angry. Now what hits you is emptiness. Your mind becomes empty. Now you cannot take it anymore, and that is where now anything, when you are blank, when you are empty, anything that enters in, that is now what will manipulate. So wakati mtu amefika depression, already sasa mind inakuanga empty. It's like neta what do I say? Neta a tire that has burst. When a tire bursts, it now becomes empty, and that car cannot move again. So your mind now comes to it is stretched to the very end. So it cannot accommodate anything anymore. So at that moment, kile kinaingia kwa akili, kama ni suicide, unaona that is the best thing to do. Kama ni kukunywa, unaona sasa hiyo ndio solution. Na ukianza sasa kukunywa, hapo ndio huwa tunaambia watu kukunywa is not a solution. Kwa sababu hiyo inasimamisha tu kidogo. It's like calming down. It calms you down. But tomorrow in the mornings you wake up, your problem will still be waiting for you there. So depression inafanya sasa mtu uko karibu na kuwa wazimu. Sasa hapo ndio unapata hata ukivaa nguo for example if it's a man amevaa trouser longi hajafunga zip, lakini hajui na hajali kwa sababu hajui. That person is empty. Amevaa nguo lakini buttons unaona zingine ziko juu zingine ziko, huyo mtu already, that's a sign ya depression. Mama ametoka, kamisi iko nguo ni fupi kuliko kamisi, lakini anatembea tu. Hiyo ni depression. Huyo mtu sasa mahali amefika, amebakisha kidogo tu akuwe mwenda wazimu.
So in other words, depression ni ile state umefika, umefika mwisho. You've had issues piling up, one after the other. So that point of depression ni uko mwisho kabisa. So like a balloon that had been blown to its limit.
It's been pressurized and it now comes to a point of bursting.
Meaning at that point someone is very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable to anything. Yeah.
Okay.
So na this is where unapatanga hata most of us mtu anaingia kwa marriage ambayo hakuwa prepared. Ni shida zimemsukuma mpaka sasa anataka tu, ni kama ndege mahali inatafuta tu mahali pa kutua. So most of our people, because they don't have strong shock absorbers, they are not able to handle issues and the situations and issues around. Unapata sasa mtu amefika mwisho, unapata that person is now analala, ni kulala, hakuna kitu ingine anafikiria sababu huyo mtu sasa amefika mwisho. And we are talking more about children, but now when it comes to old people, ndio unasikianga imefika kitu inaitwa dementia. Dementia is a deep depression. Na hiyo ikihit old people, what happens to them, they forget the present issues. Wanakumbuka zile za kitambo. Na ndio unasikia most of the times wanapotea. Unasikia mtu just got lost. It's because sasa akili zake zinamuonyesha gashugwa gatene kalia toraga nako. Unaona the family that maybe mahali alilelewa anataka kuenda, sasa akili zake mahali zimefika anasahau ya. So for a child akifika hapo, that person can do anything. That person can commit suicide so easily.
Let me ask you, Pasi. So depression inachagua age?
No.
Ama mtu as young as, I don't know, watu wafikiria depression ya watu wakubwa, you know na? Can a child be depressed?
Yes. Because it's as I said, it's a process. So if this child starts by being pressurized at school and even from the family, and these signs, nobody detects the signs to help this child, the process goes, it escalates to the stage of depression. A child can also be depressed. And for a child, a child cannot, is not like an adult. A child will maybe, I don't know, most cases, what happens to these children. But you will find them even in class, they are not performing. They drastically reduce their, or, they drop their grades. So for the children, it comes now when it comes to performing. They stop performing. Their duties, they don't perform. Their school performance, they drastically drop, and many other issues. So huyu mtoto hata ukimwambia chochote ako ready. Ukimwambia hata wacha kuja tuende nikupeleke, that child is not reasoning. So depression can also affect children.
So in a child, if you realize that your child has drastically changed, either socially, emotionally, yani mtu yame change too, that's a red signal.
It's a it's a red flag. And not only a teenager. You see, even this child that is sucking, even that child anaweza fika to a depression point. So na ndio unaona watoto, unaweza pata mtoto kitu kigongeshwa anashtuka kwa sababu kuna mahali alipitia, hiyo kitu bado iko ndani yake. So depression can affect every person, regardless of your age and background.
Does it have stages? Is it gradual? Does it just happen number of a finger, ama iko na inaanza ikuwa mild,
ndio hiyo sasa, ndio hiyo tulianza pale kwa stress. Depression haianzangi tu, yani unaamka unapata ni depression. It is a process. It starts from stress, mild stress. Hiyo nilikwambia ukisalimia mtu anaanza kukupea story, hiyo ni depression, inaanza pole pole, it grows. So if you don't attend to these issues, they escalate to now depression. From depression ndio unapata sasa mtu amekuwa mental case, madhara case, sababu sasa imeenda beyond.
Yes.
And let me tell you, when I was doing my practicum during my counseling psychology, when I was pursuing my counseling psychology, I went to Mukurweini level 4 hospital. Can I tell you, a big percentage is not admitted there because they are sick. It is stress. It escalates to depression. So this depression inafanya mtu mpaka akue admitted hospitalini.
Wow.
Even children. Because huyu mtu kuna mambo anasukumiliwa mpaka sasa mnafikiria amekuwa mental case. It is depression. Yeah. So it does not just happen one day. At one morning you wake up, that person is no. It is a process. And if you sit down with that person, you listen to that person, they will tell you it began from this point. It went to this point. And that is why it is very important, although we will come now when we are finalizing, that is where we will mention this, to take your children to a counseling, a counselor. Every now and then. It is good. It is very important. Not even the children, even you yourself, Gatoho.
Yes.
You see the work you do.
Yes.
It is very stressing. You need time. You need time to go to a therapist. Kaa chini. Even us, counselors, we go to therapies.
Wow.
Tunakaa chini tunafanyiwa, unakuwa na therapist wako anakufanyia therapy. Unaongea, you know, when you talk, una release kile kitu kiko kwa mind. That is the reason even our children, when they are growing up, please, parents, make sure you sit down with your children. Kaa chini na wao, listen to them. Especially the generation we are raising, wanataka kusikizwa. If you don't listen to them, that is why unaona huku wakisema mambo mingi sana wakichukua matawi. Because nobody is listening to them. Yeah, they need to be listened to. So depression is a journey. It is a process.
I like the fact that umesema pia therapists wanahitaji pia therapy, you know, quite literally. So let's talk about now the factors that leads to one being into depression, and maybe we can categorize them into kuna external factors. Kuna vitu zina happen kwa life ya msee ama life ya mtu externally, zinatoka nje. Maybe ni familia, someone is young and the parents have divorced, they have separated, they are fighting in the house, you know, maybe ni mtu mkubwa kwa job, kwa frustrated, maybe mdosi alimwambia kitu fulani, ama ame lose job. Yani kuna vitu external zina affect, na kuna zile internal. Kuna vitu ni wewe umejiletea, ama umefanya make some decisions, you taken some you know, actions have consequences. There are some things you can do you yourself zikulete shida ya kwa depression, lakini kuna zingine ni external. So if you can unaweza tusaidia collaborate kidogo hapo causes that can lead one into depression, external and internal.
Okay, that is a very good statement, external versus internal. So number one, let's talk about family matters. Family matters. Maybe a mother or maybe a father. In our days, I remember we were being taught about courtship. I don't know whether today's children know about courtship. You know, courtship is whereby you take your time before you choose a partner. Huyu partner mmekutana na yeye umjui, umeona tu mtu amekuja na kigari kikubwa, unasema this is the one I want.
So umeangukia.
Umeangukia. Lakini haujui hii gari labda ni kuomba ameomba, maybe itakaa haya. Amekuja nayo siku 2-3 wewe unajua umeangukia. Lakini haumjui. Huyu mtu umeona a beautiful lady, you know, figure 8. Leo ni unaona manze ule
na rangi ya dhao.
Na rangi ya dhao. Nikiingia kwa nyumba na yeye huyu hata stima sihitaji. Lakini huyu beautiful person unaona maybe ako na kifafa. Anaangukanga. So you need time to learn one another. Ujue huyu mtu hii gari ni yake. Na kama ana gari ama kama hana, will I still be able to love this person? Huyu mtu ako na kifafa. Bado nitampenda. Ama nitaingia kwa nyumba nishtukie sikuwa ninajua. So for example mumeoana, muingie kwa nyumba mke wako ama mume wako aanguke na aume ulimi. Utafanya nini? Si utapiga nduru umetoka nje. You expose your problems. So the reason tulikuwa tunaadvisiwa mambo ya courtship ni usiingie kwa marriage unprepared.
Yes.
So that is one cause ambayo huwa inaleta depression. Kwa sababu umeingia kwa hiyo marriage, you are not prepared, unakuja kushtukia kuna mambo haukujua ndio unajua sasa. So wewe na hawa watoto wako unawaletea depression.
Wow.
Number 2 ni kazi. Unapata umechukua kazi kwa sababu uko na shida. And maybe umechukua kazi ulidanganya. Watu wengi huwa wana fake certificates. Umefake. So ukipewa ile kazi, you are not fit for the job because you faked. So zile kama vile umesema consequences, choices have consequences.
Yes.
So what you chose, these are the consequences.
Yes.
So you are not able to perform. Unaona sasa pressure zimeanza kuingia. Sasa unaanza kufikiria ile salary sasa itapotea, nilidanganya. So hiyo kitu na anytime hizi issues zote zikikuja, kuna 5 stages za grieving. Every person will start grieving. Whether you lose a job, whether you lose a loved one, whether umepata kuna mahali umefail, kuna you automatically start grieving. You see, like now this is your business. If it starts failing, you start grieving. If your marriage doesn't work, you start grieving. So what we advise people is to make sure you go through the 5 stages.
So what you're saying is that grieving is not for only grieving the dead?
No. Grieving,
people know that una grieve ukiona msiba.
No.
You lose a job, there's a grieving
5
process.
stages you go through.
Tell us more.
5 stages you go through. You lose a loved one, you lose your husband, or maybe your marriage doesn't function, you start grieving. Maybe ulikuwa na rafiki, just a friend. Ama kama sasa si leo tulikuwa na hii show.
Yes.
Ni kufail.
Yes.
No, the last minute nikwambia I'm not coming, you automatically start grieving.
Okay.
Na zinakuanga stage 5 ambazo huwa tunapitia.
Okay.
Sasa hizi stages ndio huwa tunasaidia watu muzijue to avoid going into depression. Na maybe very quickly ningependa tu ku mention the 5 stages. The first stage ambayo huwa kila mmoja wetu, hata mimi kanisani, if church members discourage me, I grieve. I will start grieving. Stage ya kwanza inakuanga ni denial. Yani unaanza kujiuliza how nimefutwa kazi, yani aje mimi
na madegree zangu na masaa zangu
aje yani mbona you don't believe. Hauamini umefutwa kazi. Hauamini marriage yako imebreak. How now?
With all the prayers nimeomba,
with all the resources vile nimejipeana, aje sasa
aje
hapana, iwezi kuwa. Hiyo ni stage ya kwanza. Ukimaliza, na ni vizuri kuiendea uimalize hiyo stage. Hiyo denial na kujiuliza hizo maswali. Kuna mtu aliniuliza, mtu anaweza ruka hii ya kwanza uende mpaka ya 5?
Juu yenyewe hii ya kwanza.
Hii lazima ujiulize. Nikwambie sikuji kwa hii show utaanza kujiuliza, yani pasi aje. How? Na tulipanga na akani promise, yani aje amini siamini. Unaona? Hiyo stage lazima upitie. After that stage unaendanga kwa stage nyingine tunaita negotiation. Unaanza kunegotiate, kujiuliza sasa maswali how? What happened? What did I do? Kwani ni nini nilifanya? Yani huyu mtu amekufa, ama kuna mahali nilikuwa nafaa kufanya sikufanya, ama kuna a part I was supposed to play but I did not play my part. Ama kuna kitu niliambia pasi nikamjibu vibaya. Negotiation. If a loved one goes, you go to that stage. Amekufa aje? Ama kuna ni nini sikufanya? Ni nini nilifaa kufanya? After that unaenda kwa ingine tunaitanga anger. Unakasirika
kwa anger. Hapo ya pili hiyo ya negotiation
Yes, mpaka na Mungu.
Yeah. hiyo ni crucial sana cause unapata everything that every time something happens to you, either you lose a job, you lose your marriage fails, you lose a loved one,
business, even a business opportunity,
a business, unaona kuna ile unajiblame. Sio kama hiyo ndio party ya negotiation, unajiuliza kwa nini
nilifanya. That is the negotiation.
What mistake did I do? Na vipi ni mtu like everyone has lost a loved one.
Yes.
At some point, me personally, I was telling you before the interview.
Yes.
I've lost 3 family members through suicide, right? And every time unakumbuka unajiulizanga nini sikufanya, maybe sikumpigia simu, maybe hatukuongea, maybe siku reach out, maybe I wasn't a cousin enough, I wasn't a friend enough, I wasn't a brother enough. Unaona, unaweza kujiblame juu hiyo loss. So I understand what you're saying. After denial, you go to
you start now asking questions. Is there anything I was supposed to do that I didn't do?
Na kuuliza Mungu kwa nini? Mungu, why? Unanegotiate mpaka na Mungu.
Yes, that is a grieving process. From that, sasa unaanza kukasirika. Yaani reality inaanza kukuhit. So unaanza kukasirika. Hata afadhali nisingempigia. You know, sasa nitaishi aje? Afadhali hata singezaa huyu mtoto. Anger. That is the third stage. The fourth one tunaitanga mild depression. Depression sasa inaingia
hapa sasa.
Unaanza kufanya vitu, unaona watu hata wakikuja unaongea sana. I remember kuna time nilikuwa in a distress situation na nikawa withdraw. Actually what I'm saying is something I've gone through. Si ati ninaambia watu masomo ama kitu
it is not theory.
It's an experience that personally I've gone through. And I also forgot to say I'm a mother of one girl who is now a lawyer.
You tell us more hiyo tukimalizia.
She got admitted to the bar on Friday.
Congratulations. What's her name?
Thank you, Anne Young.
Congratulations, the new US advocate of the High Court. Congratulations, Anne.
Yes. So when I talk to the teenagers, I'm talking to them with experience because I've raised Anne. So I'm talking about now a time I had withdrawn from people because of some challenges that I was going through. Nilikuwa nimekaa miezi 8 sijalipa nyumba. Mtoto sijamlipia shule. So nikawa mgonjwa na nikajifungia. Sitaki watu wajue. And you know also another thing that contributes to depression ni mtu kukosa kujikubali. Umerudi chini, ulikuwa juu, umerudi chini, bado unakatalia wewe uko juu. You are still a celeb. So hiyo denial pia. Utaki kuamini. So nakumbuka my friends called me, ilikuwa birthday yangu. So a friend, her name is Joyce, she now relocated to the US. She called me and told me, "Hi, Pasi, happy birthday." Nikamuuliza, ati happy birthday? Si leo ni 21st March, it's your birthday. Mwambia, guy mimi hata niko kwa nyumba, sijui nini vile nilikuwa nakwambia. Baada ya kusema asante nilianza
story.
So they decided now what next? Wacha tupitie kwake tumuone. So Joyce mobilized musicians and they came to see me. So when they came to see me, I started giving them, narrating the story of how I became sick. Now, the reason they knew that I was not okay, they were telling me now much later, is that nilikuwa nawapea story, ninamaliza, ninarudia. Ninamaliza, ninarudia. Now I was in a status of depression. Hiyo kujirudia. Na ndio maana huwa tunaenda, mtu akiwa na challenge ama an issue, unaenda unamsikiza tu. Hata akikupea hiyo story mara 10, unamsaidia kutoka kwa depression.
Usimwambie ayu ulisema, ayu ulikuwa umesema unarudia.
Usimwambie, wewe jua tu. So mimi nikaongea, wakachunana, wakaambiana, kairetu gatire sawa. So what do we do? Kesho mapema hospitali. And that is how I ended up in hospital and I was taken care of. Na sikuenda kwa depression, wakanisaidia. So hiyo ndio sasa ninasema mild depression. Wakati mashida zinakuja, zinakupiga, yani zinakuacha mahali uko karibu kukufa. Now ya mwisho, stage ya mwisho.
So ya kwanza, pole ya kwanza, this is very very sensitive and very very important. Ya kwanza ilikuwa denial.
Yes.
Unakataa, utaki kukubali ime happen, ime lose job, familia yangu ime break, mdai wangu ameanguka mtihani shule, you know.
Hata kuanguka,
exactly. Ama pia uko shule umepewa retake, you know, that kind of thing. Uko na boyfriend amekuacha, you know. Mukurweini uko na girlfriend amekwambia sikutaki, that kind of thing. Denial.
Yes.
Number 2, you go to negotiation. Unaweza kujiuliza kwa nini mbona ime happen, nisi kufanya, sina pesa ya kutosha, kwani sikumpenda vizuri, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Then unaingia kwa anger. Kujam,
sasa unaanza
kukarakara,
utaki hata mtu ukipigiwa simu hata ulikuwa unauliza signs za kujua mtu ako na stress.
Yes.
Clicking, unaongea na kila mtu na hiyo pia ni sign.
Kwa hivyo ikuangi ati ni personality, ati mtu amezaliwa hivyo. Unajua kuna watu akiongea lazima click. Sikuzaliwa nayo. Hapana.
Huyo wako kwa ni stage ya depression. So hiyo anger inafanya mpaka una click. The third stage.
Ya 4 unaingia kwa mild depression. Hapo ndio sasa inaenda ikienda severe.
Unaanza sasa kufanya vitu.
Kawa imeanza kuenda hivi sasa. Unaenda chini. Right? Then
ya mwisho sasa tunaita acceptance.
Yes.
Unakubali. Hapo ndio unasema anyway, nimekubali ime happen. Nimekubali, tumemwachilia amekufa, it's okay, now we accept. Wacha tu apumzike. Nimekubali nimepoteza kazi, wacha nifikirie what else, what next. Yes, it's okay, nimepoteza, so what next. Sasa huyo mtu kiacha amefika acceptance, sasa ujue yako sawa.
Hapo ndio ukiacha unasema they are not 12 like disciples of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sasa now umeaccept. It's okay, hata aende, hata akuwa mrembo.
Hata akuwa mrembo. Kwa kwa mafuko ale mkinyana marigo. Onatimeru. Kwa ile Kikuyu kwa mafoko right, akifikia ile tunato mandizi tumeiva tu yellow alafu akashindwa kufikia akasema hazijaiva. So basi hii stage acceptance ukifika ama ukijiaccept, hiyo ni kumaanisha is a positive thing.
It is positive.
Wewe unaondokea hiyo ngori sasa.
Umeondokea ngori na ndio maana tunasaidia watu waende through grieving process.
Ndio afike ile acceptance. So what happens if you don't get to acceptance from mild depression? I say the opposite now of acceptance. Ni nini?
Sasa what happens, you now live in that status for a very long time because you put it in a subconscious mind.
Yes.
Unaiweka kwa kasanduku kako hapa, unafunga, si kwamba umesahau, ni ile ni kama wacha tufiche kidogo, wakati wageni watatoka tutaitoa. So ukikataa kufika acceptance, ni kumaanisha haujaenda the whole process. So umeficha shida, ukajifanya uko sawa. Kuna watu wengi unasikianga wakikwambia anyway, unajua vile huyo mtu alikufa, huyo mama yangu ama mtoto wangu alikufa, hata leo huwa inanihit, lakini ni sawa tu. Alikataa kwenda through the process.
So hiyo ni sawa tu, haikuangi sawa.
Haikuangi sawa. Ni sawa.
Ukimuuliza, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm okay."
Niko sawa, lakini
haiko sawa.
Ama kai kumbe ati alikuacha, lakini sasa si alienda, ni sawa tu.
Sasa ningedu
huyo hajaenda through the whole process. Amekatalia hapo katikati, so ameiweka subconscious. So akipata another lover, amfanye kitu kama hiyo, ana trigger ile because you did not heal.
Okay.
So the best thing is to heal. When you heal, you'll be able to overcome so many other challenges that will come, similar challenges that will come even after. So that acceptance is very, very important. And that is why we are talking about reach out.
Yes.
Reaching out. When you reach out, make sure that person reaches to the last stage of grievances. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Viewers, it is getting now intense, and the last part of this conversation we will be talking about when one is in depression. Is suicide a solution? We'll see you after the break. Welcome to the third part of the conversation. This interview, this is made in Mukurweini Gatoho TV, and of course this interview is brought to you by Zinc House Mukurweini. This is where we are shooting the interview, and want to appreciate the director Zinc House, Mr. Humphrey Minor. Thank you for being very supportive and enabling us to have this interview shot at your premises. Thank you very much. And our viewers, mkiwa karibu na Mukurweini or even far and wide, you can come and drop by. Muone what Zinc offers. Very serene environment, very nice meals, and we have everything for everyone. Wanasamanga, every day is a house in Zinc. Thank you so much na karibu sana. So Pasi, tumekuwa na very productive conversation, and tukianza interview tulisema kuna statistics zilitolewa na World Health Organization. Over 700,000 plus people take their lives every year. On watu wengi sana. And I give you an example of personally I've lost about 3 very close family members, and that thing hits me, to date. Yani unajiuliza maswali mingi tu vile ulisema pale, denial and negotiation and all that, but maybe today this interview will reach out to a young person maybe who is contemplating suicide ama ako kwa depression, and probably in a way will be able to help. Before we went on a break, niliuliza swali. One is in depression. Is suicide the solution? Pasi.
Suicide is not a solution. What I would say is that suicide is a permanent decision of a temporary problem. It is a permanent decision for a temporary problem. So the problem that caused you, to cause suicide was very temporary. So if you just took your time and persevere and maneuver, you could have gone behind that. So suicide is not a solution. That's what I would say. If you end your life, what solution have you brought? So it is not a solution. So what is the solution of this depression and challenges? Number one is, you see, like now what you are doing, Gatoho, you are doing a very noble job, creating awareness. Let's tell our people that there is hope, there is solution. How? By speaking out without fear. You see, like men are not like women. That is why the number grows up. I mean, the men number is too big, too huge than the women. Why? Because women speak out. Wamama huwa wanaongea. Wamama akipiga makelele ama atoke aongee na mama mwenzake, anarudi akiwa sawa. Ile tu the grieving stages ambazo tumesema. If you speak out, unakuwa relieved. Ukiongea unaitoa kwa subconscious mind. Lakini when you keep quiet, you keep silent, you don't speak out, inakufanya withdraw, unakaa peke yako, na ukiwa peke yako you cannot solve any problem. So let us speak out, let us reach out, let us look for a trustworthy friend. Speak out, tell them your challenges. Not everybody. Talk to a mentor, have a mentor. Everybody, especially the young generation, let me advise you, have a mentor. I always like it when I have people who say, this is my role model, this is my mentor. So do you have a mentor? Do you have someone you share your issues with? Do you have someone you can open up your heart to? Tafuta mentor. Tafuta a counselor. Oftenly, wacha tukae tukipeleka hata watoto wetu kwa counseling. Si wakati kuna shida ndio unampeleka kwa counselor. Once, make it a routine. Na you see, Gatoho, huwa ninajiuliza, like now you have a child. How many times do you take an evening walk with your son, talking to that son? Because the Bible says there is power in every word spoken. So the words you speak to your son or your daughter are very effective. Go around with him or her. Mwambie mambo zenu zile mlikuwa mnapitia. Mwambie, my son, this is the right way to follow. Yale maneno utamuongelesha, you are the first mentor of this child. Atayatia maanani, atayachukua. Usiseme mtoto ni wa mama, Hapana. You see the reason why tuko na vijana wengi, sijui kama ni hivyo ama ni mafikira yangu, unapata wamekuwa na mwingine amechoma nywele, mwingine ametoboa masikio, mwingine anapaka hata lip balm, and is a man. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu wanaume tuliachia wamama watoto. So kile mtoto anasoma kingi ni kutoka kwa mama. Mama akikakaa na paka si huyu kijana mvulana anaona. So ni wakati upi utamchukua huyu mtoto wako mvulana, mtembee na yeye, umwambie mwana kihene kuharurwo, magoro makaharura ndio. Lakini sasa akiwa na mama akiparurwo kidogo anapakwa tu mafuta. Huyu pole. So huyo mtoto anagrow akiwa ni mumama lakini ni mwanaume. So we are losing our children in that bringing them up. So men, please take your place. Go back. You are the leaders of the family. You remember when we started, I read the book of Judges, the last chapter, the last verse. It says in Israel, those days in Israel, there was no leader. People did as they saw fit. So if you don't stand as a leader, the family will fail. So I want to advise our men. I want to advise our parents. Let mentorship begin at home. Number 2, it is good to even talk to a pastor. If you don't have a friend, go to a pastor. A pastor is like a doctor. Vile tumetrainiwa huwa tunaweka siri za watu. It is very hard Gatoho ukuje unifungulie moyo wako niende nikiongea huku. Very very hard. Vile nimefunzwa, the way I've been trained ni kwamba nikisikia maneno yako niweke iwe very private and confidential. The same case a doctor will not go revealing your confidentiality. So files zako zinakuanga ni siri. Kile ameona kwako ukienda kwake, hata kama ni rafiki yako, hata aende akunywe pombe, hata wai reveal. That is how a pastor should be. That is how a counselor should be, and that is how a mentor should be. So I want to encourage people, come out.
Let me cut you short, passage. Your point, private and confidential. Now, there's someone who posted juicy online, a very good friend of mine, and welcome Mukurweini, anaitwa Magisoni. Big up yourself, Magisoni.
Yes.
Alisema aje kwa Facebook, most people are committing suicide for the fear of opening up. Just squeeze kuna kitu inaitwa chai unage koyo chai, you know, people are afraid that if I come matikanyiro chai, you understand, nitakuja nikupe stories zangu pasi nikwambie yangu ananifanyia amenifanyia ama mimi nimepitia through this thing, nime lose job probably. When hikwambia kama best yangu na kutrust ama kama pastor wangu, the next day uranywa chai na toleshia. So people are afraid, people are scared of opening up and sharing what they are going through. So unapata mtu anajua tu. So what would be the solution? People have lost trust in maybe their parents, their friends, their church leaders, and these are young people. Who do they run to? How are we going to reboost or to rebuild this trust? Because it's very important for them to speak up and to talk to someone.
But now to who? That is the problem.
That is the question. To who?
Yeah. Well, that is why I specifically said a person that you trust. Not just anybody. You don't just open up to any person. It's someone you trust. We have so many pastors. You can point a pastor. Yule unajua huyu nikiongea na yeye. Na the other thing, hata kama watu wataongea, chai imekuwa kutoka kitambo.
Haijaanza sai.
Let me tell you Gatoho, whether you speak out or not, people will still talk about you. Watu watakuongelea. Sisi ni wachungaji. Kama mimi unajua zangu ni ngapi zimeongewa. Nimecommit suicide juu ya hiyo. Simuongee tu usiku mtalala na kesho mimi mtanipata tu na nitaendelea.
Wow.
You know.
So whether I speak out or not, people will talk.
So
it's better niongee. Niongee ni talk.
Kwa sababu the reason tunaambia watu waongee is to release your your subconscious mind. Kile umestore kule ndio tunataka kitoke. So whether you talk or not, people will still talk. People will still drink tea with your stories. So speak out. Wataongea.
Wewe imekutoka.
Kile huwa kinanifurahisha is that they will talk, lakini a few days kuna story ingine itakuja yako iwekwe kando waanzane na hiyo. So it's okay whether people talk or not, wacha waongee. The only thing is that most people don't have strong shock absorbers. Hiyo ndio tu inakuanga shida. Lakini ukikuwa kichwa ngumu kama Pastor Lilian, mimi sitakangi kujua, ongeeni tu. Lakini mimi I'm focused. You know, Hebrews chapter 12 inatuambia we stripe off everything that inatuzuilia kukimbia swiftly. Focusing unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Yesu ndiye mwanzilishi wa maisha yetu na yeye ndiye atamalizia. So mambo yote ambayo inatuzuilia tukimbie swiftly tuiweke kando. Hiyo kuweka kando ni nini? Ni hizo watu watasema nini? There is a lady napenda sana anaitwa Shiroa GP. She sang a very nice song. Akasema andu mekuga atia ni kihingo kinene. We gwali andu mekuga atia. But that's it's a hindrance ambayo inakuzuilia to progress on. Wacha waongee, let them talk. At the end of the day, na mimi ile kitu ninasema ukweli hata ukiizika 10 feet under, even after 10 years it will resurrect. Uongo hauendangi mbali, lakini ukweli unasimama. So speak out, usiogope. Me I would talk to my fellow men, kwa sababu men ndio sana huwa hawataki kuongea. I would encourage you, speak out, look for a mentor, a pastor. Let me tell you, unaona hapa, sitaki kusema ni Mukurweini, Nyeri, there is a lot of male chauvinism. Ama male chauvinism, yani that means wamama kama mimi kuja kusimama hapa unaongea haikubaliki.
Yeah, definitely.
Lakini bado tuko. Kwa nini tuko?
Bado mnangangana.
Mbona sijapack nikarudi? Mbona sijajihang? Ni kujiamini. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself. Yani unaona hii kitu tunasema low self esteem ndio inaua watu wengi. Kujiona mimi sistahili, nitaenda kumwambia ni aseme nini, ataniona aje. Believe in yourself. Jiamini wewe na ujue hakuna mwingine kama wewe, and God created you for a reason. Hakuna mtu aliumbwa kwa sababu ama Mungu hakujua. So speak out. If you feel maybe any human being is not fit for you, talk to God. We have a God. Kuna wimbo ambao huwa tunaimba tunasema Yesu kwetu ni rafiki. Huambiwa haja pia. So mbona tusimuongeleshe? You know, there's a Kikuyu stanza that says reu toteraga neke kumwariria kainge manogo no gwendaga. So talk to God. Relieve yourself through communicating to God. He is always ready to listen to us. So if you feel maybe a human being is not fit, talk to God. We have a listening God, and huwa tunasema mbinguni hakuna dustbin. Every request, whether ni ya mtu ameokoka ama hajaokoka, inakubalika kule mbinguni. So speak out, tusinyamaze.
Speak out. Tuongee, itoke na tusiogope. Afya amesema
also kuwa na mentorship programs kama hii. Hizi zinasaidia. Kuna mwingine hata kuja kuongea lakini akisikiza hii itamsaidia. Ataona wow. I wish naweza pata namba ya Gatoho niongee na yeye. Because mtu akikuona kwa media anakutrust. Anaona wow, I think nitakuwa sawa nikiongea na huyu mtu. So even in our families, let us have open dialogues. Wacha tufunguke, listening without judgment. Sikiza nini nataka kuongelesha. Even now the mentors and the pastors and the counselors out there, listen to these people without judging them. Tukisikiza bila kushuku ama kuhukumu, tutakuwa na a good tomorrow. Tutakuwa na a very good world to live in. Creating awareness, mentorship programs like these ones, they will really help.
Opening dialogues, I like that because September is the month of, as a coincidence, this convention is happening in the month of September. And when I was planning this, I didn't know, by the way, that it is the month that worldwide, you know, people do campaign against suicide and issues to do with ill mental health. And this conversation that we're having today is the first one. I've told you, I've lost 3, you know, cousins, and the last one, and I'm hoping to God and praying that atakuwa mwisho. Ilikuwa last year. Last year I lost a cousin, a very young person, through suicide.
Absolutely.
Na hiyo kitu to hit sana as a family. Na hiyo siku nilisema one time I'll open this discussion, this dialogue, this conversation. It's been now 1 year plus, you know, and I've not been able to do that until today that I'm having this conversation with you, all right? So I'm hoping that this will be a beginning of very many other dialogues and very many other conversations, and we reach out to as many young people as possible, because I believe we shouldn't lose anyone, you know. And maybe Pasi, as we wind up, is there an issue yenye ni hard kusolve ama ni ngumu sana, yani lazima, yani the only solution ni mtu kujichukua uhai? Maybe kuna mtu nako mahali anapitia an issue, akitusikiza anaona like hatuwezi understand kenye anapitia. You understand? We've talked of marriages breaking, we've talked of our family problems, you know, divorce and affecting children. Maybe mtoto kwa shule ameanguka mtihani, amefeel like frustrated, ana feel like depressed, maybe akona mpenzi amemwacha, you know, and I feel hiyo ni kitu kubwa sana, and the only solution is committing suicide. Talk to the young people.
Kama ni kitambo ningesema there is, but right now there is nothing is too big that cannot be solved. Most of us have heard about Oprah Winfrey. That lady went through abuse. She got raped. Alipata mtoto in fact akiwa 14 years.
Wow.
Akaandikwa job akafutwa. But today Oprah Winfrey is one of the most beautiful lady, encouraging people through social media. She persevered. Hiyo ni kitu ilifaa ajitoe uhai. Kuna mambo kama maybe mtu amekuwa affected HIV, you know, terminal illness, inafanya mtu asikie. But as I said, all solutions come from God. All solutions. Let us put all our burdens to the Lord. The Bible says, "Come unto me, all you who are weary and laden and heavily laden, I will give you rest." So that situation you are going through, you think that you have come to your end, there is solution. God can give you solution. You know, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "I know the plans I have for you, the plans to give a good future, good hope." So if God has a good plan for you, why do you think you should end your life? And nobody has a license to end their life. If you read in the book of Hebrews, sometimes back I was training on the book of Hebrew, it says life is in the blood. And it is only God who has permission to take away that life. Nobody is permitted. So as I talk to you, my viewer, there is no problem that is too big that God cannot solve. Just hand it over to God. If issues were there and issues are too huge, then we would not be alive. We would not be here encouraging you today. The problem of today can become a testimony of tomorrow. Whatever you are going through today is to help you encourage others. If your marriage didn't work, God is preparing you because of other marriages that will break in future. If you were raped, you are a survivor. It was not your mistake. God is preparing you to encourage others tomorrow. So I want to say, no problem is too huge. Nobody should terminate their lives. Please speak out. Reach out. We are here. That is why God has brought us here. That is why this program is here, because of you, because you are valuable. You are very important. Your life is very, very precious. Don't terminate your life. That would be my answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a way to end this conversation. Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Young. And maybe tukianza ningekuuliza Young ni ya kitambulisho ama ni najua ukimaliza utatuambia hivyo. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very wonderful evening full of very productive conversation revolving around mental health issues, depression and suicide. And as Pastor has said, it is important that we speak up. It is important that you reach out. Fungua roho, ongea na mtu, you know, have this kind of conversation. And we are hoping that we've been able to touch you, we've been able to speak to you and maybe after this you will probably reach out to us. Ndauliza pasi apena namba ya simu, and of course we'll also give out our phone number as Gatoho TV production, and you can reach out to us, you can ask us any question, and of course pastor is available. Pia tuambia ofisi yake, and maybe tungeanza hapo pasi, tuambie tunaweza kureach out kama kuna msee ametuwatch leo program ya leo, and maybe na feel anataka kuongea na wewe, uko na ofisi mahali, church yako iko wapi, namba ya simu ni ya siri ama unaweza peana, you know, it's good we help them, speak to them.
Yes, I'm very much available for every person, because God sent me to this place because he has a purpose for this area. So I serve with Christian Foundation Fellowship under our Archbishop Harrison Nganga, and also under our Bishop George Kariuki, in charge of Murang'a Diocese. And our church is in Mukurweini town, a place called Muote. My office days are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and of course on Sunday you find me there. Those are my days. My number is 0721 341793, and I will repeat 0721 341793. I am, although mostly I'm in Nairobi, but on Tuesday and Wednesdays, you'll find me there. On Facebook, I'm there. I call myself Lilian Young. Niko huko. Kwa WhatsApp utanipata. I am there. Anytime, reach out to me. I'm available. I am also a mother. I forgot to say I am a mother of a young wakili. That girl, next time I come here, I will share the story we've gone through together for her to be where she is. And I also know and believe that Gatoho TV will also host her one day to come and encourage the young people. Yeah,
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Na hii Young, kuna vijana wanajiuliza, Young ilitoka wapi? Kwa kitambulisho ama ni nickname ama ilitoka wapi? Hebu tuambie.
Young is my name. And let me say, ni mimi nilijiita hiyo jina. Because when I grew up, I grew with so many challenges, and people used to call me Foi Kanini. Todo diakoraga. Yani mahali tulilelewa, tulikuwa tunafanyishwa kazi mpaka nikahoma. So to differentiate us, we are so many Wamboys. To differentiate us, people would say, waboyuri ko Foi Kanini. So now to remove that Foi Kanini, I'm also a gospel musician. I decided to have a stage name by Lilian Young. So Young is just young. And also to prophesy myself never to grow old.
Amen.
That is why every birthday I turn 18. Every birthday I turn 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's just a stage name as a musician.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Young. Of course, she's been our guest today. Very productive, manze. Vitu mzito. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, and I'm hoping that even our viewers have been able to learn a lot. Thank you so much. This is Gatoho TV, and of course, this is made in Mukurweini. Our YouTube channel is Gatoho TV. Facebook, you can reach me out. You can reach out to me through MC Gatoho. That is my stage name. I'm an MC pastor, so kama unajua hivyo.
Yes.
My Facebook page is MC Gatoho, and our phone number for WhatsApp, for text, SMS, calls, any day, anytime is 0723 204482. 0723 204482. We've been hosting this kind of shows, and of course we'll bring you even more stories from around Mukurweini, productive, educative, and even entertaining. Thank you for joining us. Today is a wrap. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Welcome.
It's been an honor.
Amen.
And a pleasure. Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.